Hey there, welcome to the Ukuleles channel and welcome to this sort of strange comparison video between a Flight MUC-2, it's their Martin II sort of Heritage Series instrument, and an actual Martin II concert ukulele. This was the sort of re-release that they did a few years ago that actually had geared Grover tuners on them. So they did not come with friction tuners like this. I recently reviewed this instrument on this channel, and the one thing I talked about was the fact that I would replace the tuners and then I would use different strings. Well, this is now using Martin M600 strings, which are the same strings that are on the Martin II here as well. Now, first of all, just take a look at the appearance here between the two. Again, the Martin looks very different with the geared tuners, and some Martin purists would hate that. I don't mind at all because it makes it very playable, and of course the Grover tuners are super excellent. The other thing is that this instrument has a strap button on the bottom but not one on the top, and I have to match that strap button on the bottom, see if I can find another strap button that's like it so it actually matches, whereas I don't have any strap buttons on the Flight at this time. I think Flight is including strap buttons with many of their models these days, especially one on the bottom, but this one does not have it at this time. The construction is going to be very similar. They're both made out of solid mahogany. The Martin II obviously is going to be of a higher quality, and the Flight has, I think, sort of a maple binding, whereas the Martin here has that white, I think it might be an ABS binding on it. Both have a couple lines of purfling on them. The Martin's is smaller and it goes binding black white. The Flight goes maple binding black white black. The Martin has a sound hole rosette, as does the Flight. The Martin's is white black white. The Flight's is sort of black yellowish black, so that's, that white could, or that color could match the I think the binding a little better. And then the rest of the features are very similar. You've got a similar headstock. The Martin's is a little more pronounced. Again, the tuners on the Martin, I think Flight is actually just a little bit lighter in feel. The Flight has a non-compensated saddle, whereas the Martin does have a compensated saddle. One of the things I've never understood about the Martin compensated saddle is that the C string, the thickest string, has the least amount of space to vibrate, which seems like it should be the other way around. And then the E string has more space to vibrate. I don't understand that, but whatever, it works, right? So that's where it's at. And then, of course, you've got your black nut and your white nut up there on the instruments as well. But really, I just want to do a sound comparison. And remember, the cost difference. I am not sure how much these would retail for these days. I think I've seen them for as low as like $12.50 used, upwards of $2,000 used for this instrument. All mahogany Martin II, that re-release that happened a few years ago. And these are much, much more affordable. So as you look at the difference between a Martin II and a Flight MUC-2, do you get that much more in terms of feel and sound between the two? And that's what I'm just going to sort of address in this video today. So let me start by playing the Flight. I just tuned them both up, so we should be good to go. Playing the Snowden Symphony by MUC-2. All right, on to the Martin II. Same song. All right, a little bit of Fur Elise on the Flight. Now on the Martin 2. Now, two things just overall. The Martin is such a more powerful, open, clear sound than the Flight. That doesn't mean that the Flight's bad. It's not bad. I think the Martin strings help immensely. So I would definitely, if you buy a Flight MUC-2, put on fluorocarbon strings on it. I think you'll very much like it. So let's just do a comparison. Open strings. Martin. I'm holding that against my body. Let's switch that around. So, Flight, Martin, as you'd expect, there are similar sort of timbres of mahogany instruments between the two. Logically, and what you'd hope for, the Martin does have a little better sound. However, is the Martin X number of times the price better than the Flight? That's really up to you. But if you are looking for an affordable, solid mahogany instrument, I'd recommend a Flight with two changes. I would change the tuners, just myself, and then I would change the strings. And again, these Martins are no longer made, although you can get the Koa version of this. You can buy an eco-friendly version that costs even more, I think over $3,000 of this. So if you have money to spend, you can find these used or different versions of this model. This again is a United States made Martin Model 2 versus an imported solid mahogany Flight MUC-2. I think the Flight holds up well, but again, I would do different tuners and for sure different strings like I did as well. All right, that's it for this little comparison video between these two instruments, the Flight MUC-2 and the Martin 2. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll be back soon with some more uke stuff for you.